Hello, everybody. Welcome to today's Q&A. Today, I'm only going to take 4 questions. The other questions, I'll just answer everybody privately. I'm just taking the 4 that are the most consequential to the general population. There were a lot of questions, and I'm taking these 4. I think these are the most consequential to the general population. And as other stuff comes up, I'll incorporate it into the videos for next week. So the first question has to deal with NEAT. This person travels a lot, is in the car a lot, is in airplanes a lot. How can he better incorporate NEAT? Mike T. Nelson and I, in an interview, I'm not sure if I sent that out to you guys. We talked a lot about insulin and insulin resistance. And one of the things we talked in great detail about is NEAT. And one of the things that I want to be specific about is, this is actually fascinating. When your body is so adaptive in ways that we're only beginning to understand. I'll give you just one example. People that have been stranded on boats, with only fish to eat in the ocean, so they can fish, but they have nothing else. What they do is they start creating their body starts craving eating the eyeballs. I've shared this story with you guys before. You can watch it on the Discovery Channel. I have it still on DVD somewhere. If you want to borrow it, be my guest. There are stories like this in survival stories where people start having an appetite for things they would never normally eat. That's normally organs or things like eyeballs. So on a fish, what you realize is that you're getting the copper and magnesium in the eyeballs that you weren't getting elsewhere. How did the body know that? Well, there's an innate response that the body knows. You see this in women with pregnancy. You see it, like I said, in survival stories. The body adapts. Well, it also adapts in interesting ways in a calorie deficit. It will do things like literally find less ways to move in everything. You'll fidget less. You'll scratch your head less. Everything that you normally do, you'll blink less in a calorie deficit. Isn't that fascinating? Nobody's telling your body to do it. It does it naturally. So that is why the concept of mindfulness is so important when it comes to losing weight. Mindfulness is the thing that has to be present, because when your body realizes that I'm in a calorie deficit, it doesn't care that you want a 6-pack, it just wants to survive. So it's saying, if you're a man, for example, hey, you've been 5'9", 205 pounds your whole life. We're starting to move down. We're 202, we're 199. You got to eat. It's going to tell you to eat. That's why all these tricks matter, because you really do feel hungry. Right? So understanding that those ghrelin responses, understanding leptin, as we discussed, understanding how to satiate these things so that you don't feel hungry matters. But your body will also have these adaptive mechanisms. I say all that to answer this question. When it comes to NEAT, I'm giving you examples of going back and forth. For example, you can stand at the standing desk instead of sit. But then what's even better than that? You could pace while you're on the phone. Or you could see, what are these things called? These are called earbuds. Do you need to hold the phone like this? This is really bad for you guys over time. So you can actually be on conference calls and pace around to walk, which is better than standing. You get it? What's even better than that is while you're on the conference, walk up and down the stairs somewhere. You get the idea. These are all out of the box concepts, but these are very gross motor patterns. The concept of NEAT extends to the simplest things like fidgeting, muscle contraction. I bring up our conversation with Mike T. Nelson because we talked a lot about just the idea of muscle contraction. So while you're sitting in a plane, just doing things like flexing your forearm, like taking your forearm, flexing your forearm like this. I have all these things around, like if I'll pick it up. Here, I'll show you. Like I have this just sitting at my couch. What is this? You guys have seen this at the gym. You bend it, you twist it, you do all these things for your forearm. While I'm watching TV, I'll do things like this. I have other shit too. It's over there, whatever. I have all these little things that I can do and sit, squeeze, pull, extend, do things that are for extension of my wrist. All this stuff while I'm just sitting doing nothing but watching, Netflix for an hour. So these things we know create a better signal for insulin response. We know it. So what else could you do? Even just things like doing some mindful breathing work into your abdomen, or contracting your abdomen, or doing stomach vacuums with your abdomen. anything at all that's movement involved. Here, just head tilts, right? Just some head tilts, so all these things are, by the way, in the warm-up videos, right? All these neck movements that you could do, these mindful movements, all these things create more energy burn. So you could be sitting down in a plane, literally, yes, getting up and standing and go to the bathroom, but at some point, the marshal on the plane is just gonna, tackle you and be like, what the fuck are you doing? So hopefully that gives you an idea. Next question is actually a great question. This one talks about, I often get tired around between 2 and 4 in the afternoon. No matter what I eat, no matter what I do, I tend to get this crash. I've referenced Matthew Walker quite a bit in these videos. He is the sleep study expert from Stanford University. He wrote a very comprehensive book. And in that book, he actually addresses this. It's fascinating. It seems that a large portion of us are what are called biphasic, meaning that when you go back in our evolutionary history, civilization, there are many civilizations where, and you see pieces of this still implemented in Europe, where in Europe they take what? They take long ass lunch breaks. A lot of them take naps in the middle of the day. This biphasic concept seems to be routed in our genes. So many of you will want to take naps and things like this around 1 or 2 o'clock. So what can you do to mitigate this? Because not everybody has that luxury. Well, what have you learned are the things that wake you guys up? It would be light. So if you can just on your lunch break, get outside and do what's called sky gazing. I didn't go too much. I talked a lot about sunlight. I didn't talk much about getting it into your eye. You don't look directly into the sun. You look off to the side and you just try to get light into your eyes while you walk or whatever, even if it's just for 5 minutes. This is going to absolutely change. Remember, it's the melatonin in your eye it's the melatonin it's the lack of light that creates the melatonin, which is what makes you sleepy. It is the light itself that creates the serotonin, which wakes you up. So that's a great little trick. So then again, just standing, moving, breathing, breath work helps as well. So if you're going to take those 5 minutes, if you do, and the person asking this question did previous UTCs where we did breath work. The breath work that I did 40 days, it took me 40 days. Every day I evolved the breath work. So it's not like something I can show you in 10 seconds here. But the idea is that you're going to breathe mindfully in a particular pattern, diaphragmically. You can make it as advanced as you want, but just basically, even if you just breathe in nice and deep through your nose, do that mindfully for 5 minutes. That will make a big difference as well. You'll feel energized. Little tricks make a big difference. The other thing is B vitamins. So B vitamins are a water-soluble vitamin. If you just take like 1 capsule of the methylated B vitamins, most of the time it's 3 capsules is 1 serving. Just take 1 of them, break it apart. Just open it up, put it into your water bottle. If it's a half-liter bottle of water, and just start sipping that. B vitamins are extremely important for energy production, and most people tend to be deficient in vitamin B1, vitamin B2, so that would be thiamine. I can go on and on about thiamine, Lots of people are thiamine deficient, and I don't care how much B1 you think you're taking. There are lots of reasons to be thiamine deficient. That's a separate tangent. Riboflavin is B2. Similarly, B12, there's lots of reasons to be, especially if gut issues, to be deficient in B12. The point is that if you're getting this into your body, it's a water-soluble vitamin, so it's fine to have on an empty stomach. This will help wake you up as well. So those are 3 little tips. Next question was, getting a gut microbiome test. A gut microbiome test. So there is definitely information that we know about the gut microbiome. In some cases, it could be a bit of a red herring, but if you absolutely have certain bacteria that are consequential, like obviously like C. diff, H. pylori, if these are asymmetrical in your stool, then that is something that you absolutely need to address. But if you're doing it, unless you come up with things that are very consequential, they tend to be a red herring. We believed certain things years ago about the more diversity, the better. That may or may not be true in terms of the bacteria in the gut, because there are populations where there's not a whole lot of diversity and they're unbelievably healthy. There are multifactorial things when it comes to the gut bacteria that we're learning more and more and more about. I will talk about this more extensively in phase 3. This is an evolving field, and every UTC, because I stay on top of the research, I always give you guys the latest of what we have discovered. Okay. And there was one more question. What the hell was it? Damn it. I can't think of it. All right. Anyway, it's at 10 minutes, so I will answer it in tomorrow's video if as soon as I remember it, because I don't want to go longer. All right, guys. Have a great rest of the day.